intel, then dial your operator.
Have no fear, fellow citizens. The Mediator is here.
Welcome back. Now it's time to get to the top 8 international headlines and developing news stories that made it this week. If you go on to church this morning, pray for me. Woo, it's a holy day in town. Pray for me. Ooh, Lord. Pray for me. And the Easter Bunny. Woo. Let's get to it. Story number 1. Is America living up to the needs of its military men and women? Pray for me, Lord. There have been multiple headlines in and out of the news lately about how some people have taken it amongst themselves to meet the needs of veterans. They're just doing it themselves because the government can't, or possibly they won't. Now, the truth is that many executives of numerous nonprofit organizations are making six-figure incomes while there is still a large number of veterans battling with mental problems and living conditions, period. So that the people in the companies that are helping and doing, they're taking a lot of money while there's still a lot of people who are not eating, who are probably a part of their organization, their nonprofit. Now, suicide rates and respect from civilians are also a concern. People are committing suicide. Now, this is it with all races, so it's not just a certain ethnic group or racial group. This is all races, religions, and in all branches of the military institutions, even after they get out. Now, the key to this story is knowing where to turn if you are aware of someone suffering from military-related incidents or service. Now, the bulk of the story has a lot to do with lobbying power and the fact that the majority of veterans don't know what they are entitled to. Some veterans are also voicing their frustration with the Biden administration and how they rush to the aid of illegal migrants, and they fail to rush to the aid of the people who serve this country. The story is still developing. That's why I made it to the top 8 this week. Story number 2. Facebook is in the hot seat again. One CNN business article headlines, it puts a huge amount of emphasis on Facebook's ability to protect its users, with the headline reading that Facebook is being accused of failing to provide a safe environment for its users. That's basically what the headline says. Now, the article goes on to point out the new developing fight that Facebook is in to maintain a hold on the company's still widely used platform. So there's still a lot of people that use Facebook. Now, the article also goes on. It just gets straight to the point, and it is very brief, but it goes straight into details when it discusses the challenges ahead for the company. Story number 3: the money bubble watch. Forbes has an article discussing the stock market and inflation. The article's main talking point is how investors are predicting a stock market bubble that will burst and inflation will follow after the bust. Now, this is a serious read due to the current rise in the price of living. Now, in the coming months, economists will be watching the market closely, especially after the passage of the $1.9 trillion stimulus bill. I can't shortchange that. Now, what they're saying is they want to see if this money that's been handed out will help stimulate the economy and get things balanced out. That's why story number 3 made it in this week. Story number 4: COVID-19 has changed how the world works. It really has. From schools to the way we watch television and communicate, COVID-19 is creating a whole new way that the world functions. Now that a lot of people are trying to hold on to whatever form of inspiration that they can get, it may be time to see how regulations and the bureaucrats are doing and how they're affecting the markets while in the pandemic. So while everybody's trying to stay inspired and full of love, there may be somebody with the other hand doing something that that they used to couldn't be able to do. Now, in the ongoing saga, a lot of people are taking their anger out on other people and the people in charge, while some are even committing suicide. All this happening in a whole new world. A whole new way to live with COVID-19. Now, it is clear that the COVID-19 stories are dragging the world into another totally different direction that we were not prepared for. We weren't prepared for this, folks. It is evident we were not. The UN is also in some headlines. They are reporting that some children may even grow up without being able to read because of how COVID-19 has pretty much smashed into the education system. Some reports say that some students have disappeared completely from the attendance rolls. Another report in this headline says that homeschooling has nearly doubled during the pandemic. Story number 4, big headline. Well, those are our top 4 stories that made in headlines and developing news stories. I'll be right back with the top 4 international headlines and developing news stories. So don't go anywhere. You're the Mediator. Me, Brian West. I'll be right back. If you want to check out the stories that almost made it in or did make it in, go to our Twitter feed on our website. Check out everything. All of the sources are there. And go to the website. It's method8inc.com. Method8inc.com, where you can buy something, click on something, watch something, read something, or just sponsor a program. Welcome back. Now it's time to get to the top 4 international headlines and developing news stories that made it this week. So I was fighting this COVID-19 battle. I'm fighting. I said, Easter Bunny, come help me. I need some help. Quit sitting around. Let's take it down. Fighting. We're going to take COVID-19 down. Ooh, yeah. Mediation is just turned into ultimate domination. Ooh, let's get to it. Story number 5. China and Russia are not happy with Western sanctions. American sanctions. Now, after making several headlines recently, China and Russia are voicing their concerns about sanctions brought on due to China's treatment of minority groups and Russia's internal affairs in some of these headlines. Now, these sanctions are causing a ripple effect when it comes to foreign affairs stories popping up in recent headlines and could really change the course of the future when it comes to foreign affairs. That's why story number 5 made it in this video. Story number 6. Will the electric vehicle market be able to live up to the hype? New headlines about the electrical grid and how it may not be able to handle the new wave of electric vehicles headed our way are emerging in the news. Now, the fact is that the energy has to come from somewhere. In this developing story, you get eyes from everywhere focused on demand, the electric vehicle demand. A key talking point in this story is that the cars are simply cheaper to make from the automaker's perspective, if you want to look at it from their perspective. Now, you can also look at it from the consumer's point of view, who are still trying to grasp the inner operations of this new wave of technical vehicles. So there's a lot happening. Now, the fact is that even in all of the hype, the question of now is if the electric vehicles will actually change anything for the better. Now, this remains the question. Now, another question is what ripple effect will be caused if electric vehicles cripple the gas-powered vehicle market, and also if the energy grid will be able to hold up, because these vehicles require a lot of electricity to charge and to run. So the question is, will the electric grid be sustainable? That's why story number 6 made it in this week. Story number 7 in the top 2 international headlines and developing news stories that made it in this week. Don't stop till you get it. Come on. Spring break fever and gun woes are setting in. Now, even in the battle to defeat COVID-19, nearly 1,000 spring break enthusiasts were arrested. Some even had weapons, according to the report. Now, in the rush to celebrate, spring fever is giving police a headache in an already tense environment. The struggle now is just to keep rowdy spring breakers under control. This story is still developing, but now they're saying that some spring breakers have also been arrested for drugging and raping women, some who are reported to have died. Women, that's sad news. 2 mass shootings in a week's span has caused more gun awareness flags to now be flown. Lawmakers are tossing and turning in their sleep, trying to figure out how to get a hold of a still growing gun problem in America. Now, this is causing random acts of violence and keeping Americans on their toes. Gun problems. You got to start loving people. Why can't you just love? Show love. Now the challenge is in the story is how do we keep guns out of the hands of people who take their rage out on other people? Now there are also so many angles in the story, other angles like some the angles that some people actually believe that the problem could possibly be prayed away. So if you look at it from that angle, that the problem is just going to go away through prayer. Some people actually think that that's a solution. But the reality is that America has a violent culture that continues to run wild in present day. And no one has a clue on how to stop or contain it. Here's a song. We're going straight to the Wild Wild West. Bang! I'm sure you get the picture. Story number 8 and the top international headline and developing news story that made it this week. Ooh, Lord, let's have church, baby. I want you to pass the plate around. This Easter, we've got more people in attendance with COVID-19 than ever before, so let's be thankful that the Lord is blessing us to pay the bills. Hallelujah. Story number 8. What the news and the vaccine have in common. What they have in common. In the age of information and Jesus, data shows that there are still a lot of people who are not informed. Now, what academics are finding out is that even after pushing out a vaccine in record time, there are still so many unanswered questions, and most people still do not trust medical professionals. Now, inside of this story, there are perspectives being measured. So there's people at different sides to look at it. You have the professionals' perspectives, the observers, the informed, and the uninformed. These perspectives are each in an information war, leaving so many people not knowing who to trust and believe, which is causing a lot of problems for those trying to get things to a sustainable level. Now, in this story, there are some who feel that the battle is almost over. Dr. Marty Makery feels that COVID-19 should wither away by April or May due to vaccines and herd immunity, according to a Fox News article. And that's why story number 8 made it to the top this week. There's a lot happening, a lot to know about, a lot to stay informed about. Well, those are our top 8 international and local headlines and developing news stories that made it this week. I hope you got something out of today's program. I always get something out of doing the research. As usual, I'd like to thank all the news outlets, the media, the people on the front lines, the journalists. You deserve all the credit. I'm just the man in the middle, the mediator. If you want to show some support, it doesn't take much. All you have to do is visit the website on the screen, buy something, click on something, watch something, read something, or just sponsor a program. I hope you have a good week, a good holiday, and try to do the right thing and stay positive. I'll go through over 200 more stories next week just for you to keep you informed. Thank you for tuning in this week to The Mediator with me, Brian West. Have a good week, everybody. Peace.
If you need help, then dial your operator.
Have no fear, fellow citizens. The Mediator is here.